Imagine waking up, hungry, with nothing in the kitchen but flour, water, and hope. No money, no jobs, and no guarantee of your next meal. This was reality for millions of Americans during the Great Depression. But out of struggle came some of the most creative, surprising, and unforgettable meals in history. Today, we're going back in time to explore the foods that kept America alive. The Great Depression began in 1929 after the stock market crash. Banks failed, jobs disappeared, families lost everything. At its worst, nearly 1 in 4 Americans were unemployed. Food became scarce, and people had to get creative just to survive. These weren't luxury meals, these were survival foods. 1. Bread and drippings. One of the simplest meals was bread dipped in leftover grease. After cooking meat, families saved every drop of fat. Nothing was wasted. That grease was spread over bread to add flavor and calories. It may sound unusual today, but back then, it meant survival. 2. Water pie. Yes, a pie made mostly from water. Water pie became popular because ingredients like milk, eggs, and fruit were too expensive. Instead, people used water, sugar, flour, and a little butter. Somehow, it created a soft, sweet dessert that felt like a small luxury in hard times. 3. Potato soup. Potatoes were cheap, filling, and easy to grow. A simple soup made from potatoes, water, and maybe a little onion could feed an entire family. It wasn't fancy, but it kept people going. 4. Hoover stew. Named after President Herbert Hoover, this dish became a symbol of the era. Hoover stew was made with macaroni, canned tomatoes, hot dogs, and whatever else people had. It was often served in soup kitchens, where long lines of hungry people waited for a meal. For many, this was the only hot food they would get all day. 5. Cornbread. Cornmeal was cheaper than wheat flour, making cornbread a staple. It was simple, filling, and could be eaten with almost anything, or nothing at all. Dandelion salad. When food ran out, people turned to nature. Dandelion greens, often seen as weeds, became a source of nutrition. Families would gather them from fields and turn them into salads. Survival meant using whatever you could find. 7. Cream chipped beef on toast, also known as SOS by soldiers later on. This dish used dried beef mixed into a creamy sauce, poured over toast. It was cheap, salty, and filling. 8. Bean soup. Beans were a lifesaver, packed with protein and very affordable. They became a daily meal for many families. A pot of bean soup could last for days. 9. Apple dumplings. When fruit was available, it was used carefully. Apple dumplings were a simple dessert made with apples, dough, and sugar. Even in hard times, people found ways to create comfort. 10. Egg drop soup. Eggs were sometimes affordable, and even one egg could stretch into a meal. By mixing it into boiling water or broth, families created a light but nourishing soup. 11. Rice and beans. Simple, cheap, filling. Rice and beans became a powerful combination that kept millions alive. 12. Vegetable stew. Whatever vegetables were available went into the pot. Carrots, potatoes, onions, anything that could be found or grown. Every ingredient mattered. 13. Depression cake. Also called wacky cake. This dessert used no eggs, no milk, and no butter. Just simple ingredients like flour, sugar, cocoa, and water. And yet, it still tasted like cake. These foods weren't just meals, they were stories of survival. Parents going hungry so their children could eat. Families coming together around the smallest portions. Creativity born out of desperation. Today, we live in a world of abundance, but back then, Every bite mattered. The Great Depression tested the strength of a nation, and through it all, people endured, not with luxury, but with resilience. These simple meals remind us that even in the hardest times, humans find a way to survive, and sometimes even create something meaningful out of nothing.